Now, the question for today is not a very straightforward question, I would say, but if you know your simple properties of logarithm, I don't think it is an undoable question also. Okay, so let's delve into the question right away and see how difficult or how simple it actually is. So the first term is 4 raised to log of x to the base 2. The first term and the third term does give me a hint about what I really need to do. The base is 2 in the first term and there is a 4 in the base. Log base is 2 and the actual base is 4. In the second term that I underlined, the actual base is 9 and the log base is 3. Which means if I think of the first term as 2 raised to 2 times log of x to the base 2. I know this 2 can come here and can become an x square. We can get rid of this 2. So it is then of the form of 2 raised to log of x square to the base 2. This should ring a bell in your head. 2 raised to log of x square to the base 2 is nothing but x squared. Okay, very, very simple property of logarithm. This, if you don't know, you really need to go back to your logarithm chapters, do your properties well, because it's a straight forward application of the property. Great. So the first term can be thought of nothing but a simple x square minus 4x plus, you should get the drift by now. The third term is going to be a simple y square minus 16y plus 68 is equal to 0. And now they've asked us y minus x. So now the question becomes really, really easy. It is nothing but simple rearrangement of the terms. So that one simple thing that we did got rid of the entire log terms from the question. Now I think the question is in the very, very familiar, very, very doable zone. Okay, so x square minus 4x plus something and y square minus 16y plus something should help us solve those quadratic equations. Let's try and complete the squares. Okay, if I want to complete the square here and I want to find the last term, the formula that I use always is last term is half into coefficient of x, the whole square. So here the coefficient of x is 4, half into 4 is 2, 2's square is 4, which means this is x square minus 4x plus 4. So I'm going to take 4 from that 68 out, plus again half of coefficient of y here into the whole square. So half of coefficient of y is 8. Because 16 is a coefficient and square of that is 64. 64 and 4 perfectly manages to be 68. So that also solves our problem a lot. So this is 16y plus 64 is equal to 0. So this is nothing but what? X minus 2 the whole square plus y minus 8 the whole square is equal to 0. Very important, at this point you should be very, very sure of the values of x and y. Why? Because the left hand side is actually square plus square adding up to a 0. You know that square can never ever be negative. So worst case square can be 0. The lowest possible value of square can be 0. It can't be negative ever. Which means individual terms have to go to 0 to give us a right hand side equal to 0. Correct? Which means here x has to be equal to 2 and y has to be equal to 8. Simple. So what have they asked? They have asked us y minus x. Y minus x I'm going to say is 8 minus 2. My answer is going to be a simple, straightforward 6. Okay, so I hope you've understood this question. The look of it, the initial feel of the question is that it looks a little complicated because there is a log and log is in the power. So that way it's difficult. But if you know that one simple property of log, this question really becomes doable. If you just pass that first hurdle of applying that property of logarithm, after that the question is so simple that you will be surprised to see such a question in an actual IPMAT Indore paper. But yes, such questions do turn up and that should give you the confidence of preparing for IPMAT Indore. So keep preparing, all the best and do well.